Hey guys, this is Sandeep from RevAtlas, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at the top 10 things that you probably didn't know about the OnePlus 5 unless you really read the fine print. So I was actually supposed to go to the event today, but due to unforeseen circumstances I could not make it. So we do not have a hands-on video ready yet, but I did play around with the device earlier and we will be bringing you more content regarding the OnePlus 5 pretty soon in the future as well. The first aspect is that the smartphone doesn't actually have 2x optical zoom. Now, as you may know, the smartphone has two cameras at the back. First is a regular wide-angle lens which has 16 megapixels of resolution f1.7 aperture, and it also has 1.12 micron pixel size. The second sensor also has the same sensor size of 1 by 2.8 inches but has 20 megapixels of resolution and a smaller f2.6 aperture size and 1 micron pixel size. But the main difference here is it doesn't actually give you 2x optical zoom. It gives you 1.4x optical zoom, and the rest 0.6 magnification is done digitally through smart zoom. So essentially you're losing out on some of the sharpness as well as the detailing when this happens, and the extra megapixels don't really count that much considering that you're cropping into the image when you're using the smart zoom. So compared to the Apple iPhone 7 Plus, which actually has a 28mm wide-angle lens and a 56mm telephoto lens, this doesn't actually give you the full megapixels of 20 megapixels resolution. The second thing is that the main camera doesn't have optical image stabilization. Now, while the telephoto camera doesn't really have optical image stabilization even on the Apple iPhone 7 Plus, the main camera does so on the 7 Plus, but the OnePlus 5 doesn't have it even on the main camera. Now, we have seen examples where phones such as the Google Pixel and Pixel XL don't really have OIS but produce stunning, sharp and detailed images even without that. So as long as the shutter speed is fast enough, this should be able to produce great images, and in my experience it does produce good images even without OIS. Now, when it comes to videos, OIS doesn't really help much, but that's when EIS comes into play, and the OnePlus 5 does have electronic image stabilization, and although it has a narrower field of view compared to the regular mode, the EIS does help create some stable videos, and it'll help remove some of the jerkiness when you're shooting it handheld especially. The main camera on the OnePlus 5 can capture videos at 4K resolution at 30 FPS, and it can also do 1080p at 60 FPS. But another important thing to note is that the telephoto camera itself can capture videos at 4K resolution as well, and that's something really nice considering that it'll give you a more forced perspective and a narrower field of view, which may sometimes come in handy when you're shooting videos. The Samsung Galaxy S8 devices were the first devices that featured Bluetooth 5.0 in a smartphone. Now the OnePlus 5 joins the bandwagon as it too has Bluetooth 5.0 and is compatible with both AptX and AptX HD technologies to provide higher quality streaming through Bluetooth. Now, the OnePlus 5 also has the USB Type-C port. The OnePlus 2 was famously one of the first smartphones to implement a USB Type-C port in a mainstream device, and the OnePlus 5 continues the trend with a USB Type-C port as well. But the thing to remember here is that it doesn't actually support USB 3.0 transfer speeds and does have the USB 2.0 standard by default. OnePlus introduced the dash charge fast charging technology with the OnePlus 3 and also had it on the OnePlus 3T. The OnePlus 5 is no different as it has the same charging technology that you will need to make use of with the default charger and the default cable that comes within the box. You also get an additional car charger that features dash charging technology that's available at an optional extra. The device doesn't come with wireless charging. In the year 2017, we saw waterproof as well as dustproof smartphones from companies such as Apple, LG as well as Samsung. However, OnePlus hasn't joined the bandwagon with the OnePlus 5. While the device is said to be splash proof in the sense that you could accidentally drop a drink on it or perhaps use it in a light drizzle, you can't actually take the phone underwater or use it in the shower. So do be careful with your phone if you're actually coming into contact with water. With their earlier devices, OnePlus actually had different variants for different regions to meet the different LTE bands and GSM bands. However, with the OnePlus 5, you just have one single variant that supports up to 34 different bands, and it comes with LTE category 12 or 13 that provides speeds of 600 megabits per second download and up to 150 megabits per second upload. So while the Snapdragon 835 actually does support gigabit LTE, the OnePlus 5 doesn't really support it. However, considering that many regions still haven't reached that standard, I think this is not really a big con. One of the most heated arguments on the net right now is OnePlus 5 looking like the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, I personally feel that it doesn't look too much like the iPhone 7 Plus, especially after having seen it in real life. In the pictures, it does look somewhat like it, but in real life, it actually looks quite a bit different considering that it has more accentuated design, it's much slimmer, and it actually feels quite different to hold as it's quite lighter. But what OnePlus have done is essentially use the OPPO R11 as the base. It has a similar footprint, but it's actually a bit thicker than the R11, considering that it has higher end internals, a much higher capacity battery, and also has a more accentuated design that OnePlus is calling the horizon line at the sides, which seem a bit sharper and actually helps in getting a more thinner profile on the OnePlus 5, and it also feels better to hold. So I feel the OnePlus 5 doesn't really look all that much similar to the 7 Plus, but it does look very similar to the OPPO R11, and that is because they've actually used it as a base similar to what they did with the OnePlus One by using the Find 7 as a base. So that was a quick look at the top 10 things that you probably didn't know about the OnePlus 5. If you have anything else that you would like to state about the OnePlus 5 that's probably not so obvious and not everyone knows about, please do let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video, do hit the like button, do subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and thanks for watching. See you again in the next one.